This is a video response to Mr. Henry May. First, I'd like to say thank you, and I do appreciate your opinion, okay, because any kind of opinion is good, is better than none. I want to straighten up a few things here. First off, I never would say nothing about Bill Munns or Jeff Meldrum or M.K. Davis. I think they are very good researchers, don't get me wrong. I admire their talents and skills they have. Okay, so if the videos that I post is not out to point fingers at anybody or anybody's research or anything else, I post my videos on facts. Okay, like we're going to go for the footprint. Okay, the claim was a fake. No one can make a fake cast print that shows double ridging or the break. Now remember, we're talking about the PG film, and one of the photos that showed the break in the middle of the foot, and supposedly there's double ridges in it. I went ahead and did this test to see if a fake foot can produce double ridging and a break in the center of the foot. Okay. That's part of the test. That's the reason why I did the test, to see if it can be done. And when I did this test and found out it can be done, I had to post it because that's what we call research. We got to post what we do find in our research. Same as the suit. I made the suit because people's claim, oh, no one can make a suit or even a close copy of the suit. I made the suit to see if it can be done. I don't want to go on somebody's word. I had to find out for myself. I'm no costume maker, but I made a very close copy of the suit. Now a lot of people claims, oh well, it's nothing like it or whatever, but however, when I made the copy of the suit, I contacted John Green, and I'll pull up his email that he sent me. I told him about my research and showed him photos of my suit and everything else to get his opinion on it because he's seen the original film. Okay, we're talking about the original film now. We're not talking about the remake film of Ron Olson that everybody's been researching today. John Green says, I'm impressed with the efforts you have made and the skills you have applied in doing it. In particular your costume, which is the closest to what the film shows that I have ever seen. But that's about it right there. And then he goes on and talks about this other stuff that we was talking about that I asked him questions about. However, according to John Green, my costume is the closest to what the creature on the film shows. Okay, now my costume is not identical to the Patterson Bigfoot, but it's a very close copy of it. The bulk size is the same, the height is the same. Just like when I did this test here on this one image, okay, I used the same kind of camera because I bought 3 cameras that Roger Patterson supposedly used, which I did test on them. And when I did the test, I took the same image of me in a suit, and as you said, I put the regular Bigfoot over here from Roger Patterson's film. I put me beside it. My knees line up, my hips line up with the Bigfoot, my waist, the height lines up, the bulk is exactly the same. The arm length, mine's just a little bit longer, mine's just a little bit longer than Roger Patterson's Bigfoot. But they both line up, the breasts line up, the same distance and everything else. I did this to see if it could have been a suit or not been a suit, and it was a suit. Whether anybody wants to believe my research or not, I understand that for 44 years now, people's been talking about this film, going over this film, making claims on this film. However, when it comes to proven or proof, no one can actually show real proof that it was a hoax or if it was real. These are the reasons why I do the test. I have the suit. I have a close copy of the suit that I've made. Okay, I have a track print that I show with dome ridging in it and a break in the center of the foot. This is not imaginary. This is not a claim. This is called proof. Proof is something that you can feel, you can see, you can touch. Okay? That's what I do. Just like Roger Patterson's claim Dave was running, just like Bob Gimlin claimed Roger Patterson was running across the creek bed, fell down to his knees and elbows, and he got back up and still filming. I've done this test myself as well. I bought 3 cameras. I had to go through 3 cameras because the first 2 cameras broke during the test. By doing that, by falling down. And then the other test showed that the film kept on jamming. The film kept on jamming in the camera, stuff wouldn't go no more. And then it gets all bulged up inside there. So there was no possible way that Roger Patterson could have been running and fell down to the ground, because I did this firsthand. This is called firsthand experience. This is not called a hearsay or a claim. This is firsthand experience by doing these tests myself. Film bunched up and everything else in the camera break, looking through the eyepiece, the eye finder, you know, the viewfinder, looking through it, like my eye a few times, even swelled up, because, you know, when he's supposed to be running, looking through the viewfinder as he's running, make sure he's got the camera in frame, the Bigfoot in frame. So I poked out my eye, not poked it out I should say, but blackened it, bruised it, it swelled up on me. These are first-hand tests that I've done myself, not sending off to somebody else or going on somebody else's word. I had to, in the research that I do, I go first-hand myself. I experience it. I put the suit on. I had the suit on for over 4 hours in 80-something degree weather. I did the test to see if Bob Hieronymus was telling the truth about how he was in a suit and he started feeling claustrophobic and everything else, which is true. I've done this. I went through this. I experienced this. Okay? I know what to look for in a suit because of me making this close copy of the Bigfoot suit. Okay? I know what details to look for. I know what motions to go through, just like the foot. They said, well, the foot's moving around and stuff like that. Okay, my foot does the same thing. The back muscles does flex in the suit. The side muscles affect in the suit. The breast bounce on the suit. The zippers in the front. There's a strap that comes in between the legs that hooks onto the lower buttocks and hooks in the front, which in some frames you can see that. So see, these are things that I point out in the film, and I post it. But before I post it, I double check, recheck. I even send it out to other people to analyze for me and look over for me. Before I post anything, I have contacted Jeff Meldrum. I have contacted Bill Munns. I have contacted with M.K. Davis. And M.K. Davis is the only one, politest one, to respond to my letters and my emails. And he's even made a claim that I was a good researcher, right along with John Green. I've talked to Bob Hieronymus. I've talked to Philip Morris. I tried contacting Bob Gimlin on more than one occasion. It was probably anywhere from 12 to 17 times. Never returned my phone call. I even talked to his wife and left my number with his wife, which he never returned my calls. Okay. When my research that I do, I'm not out to point fingers at people. I'm not out to call people liars. I'm not out to put other people's researches down, because that's their research. It's not my research. The research I do, if I find something, I'm going to post it, whether it's real or not. Basically, what I'm trying to say is, whether if the film's a hoax or if it's real, I'm going to post it. If there's things in the film that I found was real, I'm going to post it. If there's things in the film that's going to show it to be a hoax, then I got to post it, because that's what we call research. In research, we have to take the hoaxers and get rid of them. If we don't take care of getting rid of the hoaxers, we're never going to go past that to prove that they are real. Just like me, I have seen one. Okay, I seen one face to face, 20 to 25 feet away from me in 2002. So I know they're real. So I'm not out to prove that Bigfoot's not real, because I know they are real, because I've seen it with my own eyes and my own experience. What I find in the film, and by the tests I've done, by the costumes I made, by the tracks I've made, like I said, all the tests I've done and what I found in film stuff, whether people want to believe it or not, it was nothing but a hoax. There was more people than just Roger Patterson involved in this. But people don't want to accept this because people's looking at this as a holy grail of Bigfoot, when we cannot look at this film as a holy grail of Bigfoot, because the pure fact of it is, I have analyzed photos, I have analyzed other films and videos of images that look more closer to what I've seen, more like real Bigfoots. But since it didn't look like the creature in the PG film, it's marked down as a hoax. It's thrown to the side. Okay? But no one's looking at the fact is, if this was a hoax, then all them other images and all them other eyewitnesses accounts and everything else is gone. Okay? Just like there goes the proof. It's out the window because of this one film. This one film has thrown every bit of evidence of it being true, just like when interview that Matt Moneymaker was in. He was asked a question, with all the technology we got and all the digital cameras and everything that we have nowadays, why hasn't anybody got it on film? Because his answer was, because they don't stay out long enough for anybody to get them on camera. They're too fast or too quick, and by the time they see somebody, they're gone. But then, when he's asked a question, well, what about this PG film? This PG film, there's over a minute footage of the creature out in the open, in the daylight, sun beaming right down on it. Okay? You have no answers. Okay? You're just contradicting yourself. This is not called pure research. Okay? Pure research is getting rid of the hoaxers, finding the reality, taking its falsification, and throwing it to the side. That's why I do the research I do. I take the claims that was made. If I can produce it, then it could be produced in 1967. People claim, oh, well, this couldn't be done in 1967. That could not be done in 1967. They was doing things in the 1920s that they claimed that they're still even doing today in filming. Things from 1920, they was doing stuff back then. Technology, they're not giving people credit. Technology comes from people from 1940, 1950, 1960. A lot of technology from them eras we're using right now, like in film. Matte painting was discovered in 1913 in filming, and that they're still using it today in films. So see, people act like this technology, give people some credit. They were smart back then. There was computers back then. There was rocket ships and everything else. People going out to the moon and stuff. Give people credit. They did things back in 1967, back then, that we can't even do today. There's pyramids that's built over 2,000 years ago that we cannot replicate today. But they done it 2,000 years ago. So see, we cannot say this cannot be done because it was at this time of era or this time of era. We cannot do that. Okay, not research. We can't go base ourselves on that. We got to base on first-hand experience, if it can be done or if it cannot be done, with the materials we have and everything else. That's what I do. I do this test to find out if it can be done, if it cannot be done. I'm not out to point fingers and put this researcher down and put that researcher down and say, hey, this is a hoax. Here you go, people. Believe me. I'm not in that. If you don't believe me, that's fine and dandy. Okay, I admire everybody's opinion, whether it's good or bad. But that's the research I do. If I find something, I got to post it. Whether people believe it or not, but that's the truth. That's from first-hand experience. Research I've done it first-hand experience. I didn't send it out to nobody else. I didn't have somebody else do it for me. I've done it first-hand myself. I've done the cast prints myself. I made the suit myself. I put the suit on myself. I did a test on filming myself. That's all been done by me, not by somebody else. Okay, when I analyze the films myself. Images I see, I match them up myself. I don't send them out to somebody, just like Bob Gimlin when I found him behind the brush. I did tests on how close the Bigfoot was actually to the tree. I showed my images from that. When I found him, I sent it to a buddy that worked for the police department that identifies and photo analyst, and he's matched Bob Gimlin's photo to the man behind the brush. I looked at frames before and after to make sure there ain't no trees or limbs or sticks or anything that can form any kind of face whatsoever, and that's why I show in one of my videos where I show the frame with a Bigfoot's left foot up and right foot up to show you there's nothing in that location that can form a face of any kind or anything like that. But then all of a sudden here's Bob Gimlin behind the brush. I have talked to people, like I said, firsthand, just like people's made the claim that no one can do, develop film on a Saturday. Yes, it can. I've made contacts with 11 other companies. They claim it could not be done as well. And these are people that develop that kind of film. But then one day I kept on digging and kept on digging just to make sure I found an answer. I kept on digging and digging, and I found the answer is that Alpha Cinemas in Salt Lake City did develop the film for the Bigfoot people, as they claim. And they can do it on a Saturday because we're open till 11 o'clock 7 days a week because they develop films for the news media. So yes, it can be done. Okay, so I'm backing her story now because I got the proof. I talked to the company, I got copies of their email, stuff like that, to show yes, it can be done. So when somebody asks me questions, it's like, well, no one can, they say it cannot be done, developed on a Saturday. Yes, it can. Okay, because I look for that. I look for the true answers, not the stories, not the claims. I put the claims to the test, but I find the truth behind them claims. So see, I'm not out to prove there's no such thing as Bigfoot. Like I said, I believe in Bigfoot because I've seen them. I also do research on them to find out what they really are. As for the film, I've seen the film. I've analyzed the film. I researched the film. I'm probably the only one, mostly, that actually seen a Bigfoot that analyzed the film. As for the rest of the researchers, I don't think they ever seen a Bigfoot face to face or anything. They might have had a rock thrown at them or something, but never really seen one. I have. I have made a suit. They never did. I made the tracks. I made the cast prints with dermal ridging in it and the brake. They never even tried to do that test. I did the walk on my first try. They never did that test. But that's what I'm saying. I do the test to back up these claims, to find the evidence to back each claim up. And I show this. Whether people believe my research or not, that's their opinion. It's not my opinion. I'm just there to post it. I'm not putting books to make $1 million off or be famous or rich off of it. All mine's been posted for free. I post it on the net. People, if they don't want to contact me, which that's why I appreciate you made a video response, and I'll make a video response back because you asked the questions and I'm responding to them. I'd rather be somebody more outspoken like that, okay, than somebody going around posting this picture or that picture, say, he said this, he said that. That's a hearsay again. If anybody's got questions, they can contact me. My information's all over the net. I'm on Facebook. I'm on YouTube. So if you have questions, you can contact me. I'll answer them. You want to see better images, you want to see parts of the film where I'm pointing this out, I'm willing to send it to you, and you can be the judge over it. So again, thank you, Henry, and I hope I answered some of your questions for you.